Welcome to George Ezra's Talking Reds. I am Neil Atkinson, and with me I have got Craig Hannan. We've just been discussing the work of Ezra and how he is a songwriter who aims himself squarely at the 7 to 10 year old market, and he absolutely nails it.
They're the people with money, the 7 to 8 year olds, you know what I mean?
There's all these apps these days for them. You see them, like you can put your pocket money into them and then they get to go and learn about money in inverted commas.
You know, where they use their parents' iPads and their iPads have got like Apple Pay set up and the parents don't know. George Ezra.
All the Ezra that you can get. This is what Talking Reds is about. It is also about Mo Salah's contract. We'll come on to that. It's about Liverpool's team news against Watford. We will come on to that as well. It's about Mo Salah's t-shirt. We will get to that too. But it is first and foremost. So do you know about La Liga then?
Me or the listeners? Yeah, I know a little bit. I've seen that.
I told you this morning, so that's what we're going to talk about.
Absolutely.
Let's pull the curtain back.
There is no agendas for these things other than Neil saying to me, we're going to talk about this, this and this, and I go, what's that about?
What's that about, and that all with the pointing.
The interesting thing about it is that both Real Madrid and Atletico have exactly the same number of players as Liverpool. It's just that La Liga are either sounder, which I'm not sure is the case, or B, they're keen to help them with the Champions League.
In a newsreadery way, where I put the paper down, what's happened is that Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid's games this weekend are being postponed. I don't think there's a date yet as to when they're getting returned to, so they're not playing this weekend because they've got footballers away on international duty in South America. Also, the other thing to point out is La Liga is suffering a crisis of confidence in its Champions League performance. So it may well be that they feel as though the best way to allow greater preparation for Real and Atletico Madrid for their midweek games is to give them the weekend as well, and they're using it as an excuse. That's very, very possible that is the case. Ultimately, though, it is mad to me that it's not even being mooted anywhere that Liverpool, who will have two footballers who will finish a football match less than 36 hours before the game that they play, that their game could be postponed. That it's not even being thrown out there in any way, shape or form by anyone, that maybe, just maybe, there are competitive advantages that we all get through injury, there are competitive advantages we all get through kick-off times, but maybe, just maybe, this isn't the best preparation for Liverpool.
Yeah, and I'm sure the clubs will have spoken to the Premier Leagues, at the Premier League, they'll have spoken to sort of any governing bodies that they think can make a difference, and obviously have come under deaf ears, and I think it shows the lack of sort of foresight. First of all, that there's 3 international games in a row, and second of all, that whoever puts these fixtures in place, whether it's FIFA or whoever has looked and gone, yeah, we'll stick Brazil at this time, and then there's going to be Premier League. It's not just Premier League. It's PSG play the next day, and they miss 4 players, Messi and so on. So it's not just us that's affected by this.
Yeah, well, just on this, you know, Fortinbras says La Liga has always been very protective. It has. For me, this is part of a wider story that's been going on for a while, that I don't think the Premier League does do enough for the Champions League clubs.
No.
And just has never really shown an interest in helping the clubs that play in the Champions League. I feel as though it's almost part of the Premier League's price of doing business. You get all the TV money from us, therefore you should have the bigger squad, so on and so forth. It'll be painted, and this is what will irritate me, and do watch out for Jake Humphrey, Mouth of the South, on BT Sport before it starts on Saturday.
Mouth of the South.
What he will do is he will frame this as, it adds a bit of extra spice to the fixture.
Oh
the
yeah,
fact that
absolutely.
Liverpool haven't got their best goalkeeper and the best number 6 in the world. It adds a bit of extra spice to the fixture. Fixture is the way it will be done. As though what we're about here is finding the extra spice and not about sporting decency and fair play being done. He will do it all, obviously, in his ridiculous southern accent.
Yeah, you're right. No, I'm meaning on the fixture, but you're right. I think, I mean, we've seen that in terms of, and we've heard from Pep Guardiola this year, where he complains before the Southampton game, they draw 0-0 at home. That's not an advert for the Premier League. Either Man City drawing at home with 0-0 and it being a 0-0. I think that you mentioned the crisis of confidence that La Liga has. I think that's an important point. They've lost Messi. Messi is their number one asset. They're like sort of golden boy. Suddenly they don't have him. Barcelona are shite. They've got a bit of alehouse with Koeman, which is wild, throwing centre backs up top and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
Real Madrid aren't the Real Madrid of sort of old, and so they're having to do everything that they can for these teams, but that's exactly the point. They're doing everything that they can for these teams, and we don't feel like the Premier League do that for us.
No, well, they certainly don't. Just very quickly, did you see the set of tweets around things Jake Humphries does?
No.
It was excellent. Jake Humphries texted in Radio 1 and asked him to keep playing the tunes. That was my favourite. Possibly George Ezra. That was my favourite. Jake Humphries. Yeah.
That's brilliant. I love all that.
Yeah. Text in Radio 1 and tells them to keep playing the bangers. Yeah. That's honestly, and you'll get that sort of quality from him. Saturday, 11:30, BT Sport. Tune in, check it out. See how any of us can live with the man who was the best in the game.
Keep the bangers coming.
Keep the bangers coming. Yeah, keep the bangers coming. Says Jake Humphries on a regular basis. I don't even know what his surname is. I don't know if it's Humphrey or Humphries. Do you know?
Humphries.
Is it Humphries?
Jake Humphrey.
Is Jake Humphrey?
Oh no, you've confused me.
Is it Jake Humphrey or
sure.
Jake Humphries?
Humphries.
Jake Humphrey. I mean, you can Google it. It's Jake Humphrey, but it feels like it's Jake Humphries. Jake Humphries or Jake Humphrey, you decide. Viewers, you decide. Not Jake, he doesn't get to choose, but he wants you to keep the bangers coming. It is. I love doing this show, you know. I'm going to go wherever the fuck I want. Yesterday, just to sort of pull you behind the curtain, Gibbo did this thing where he sent Michael the agenda, and Michael gave these 4 boss bullet points. Oh, wasn't it gorgeous? These 4 boss bullet points, and he put them on Twitter, and it was like, lads, get down to talking Reds, this is what's going to be talked about. And everyone came, the viewing figures were massive, they were in the millions. And from there, this morning Michael messaged me, he's sitting back there, Michael, so I'm not saying anything he can't hear, at 8:40 going, what's the agenda? And I looked at it and I went, fuck knows, lads.
Ezra, Humphrey or Humphreys?
Fuck knows, lads. I go into these shows purely with the desire to make Craig laugh. That's my only interest, and that's what I'm in it for. And so far I feel as though I've got a big tick in that particular column. There was one of those sites that plows bullshit. And Hugh
was it Rob Goodman's Twitter?
No, Hugh's into gold. Put this thing out about Salah's contract. It was wonderful. It said this: Liverpool have, like it's news, have a Mo Salah contract plan. Like 3 days ago, Michael Edwards just sat in the office with the boys. Yeah. Oh no!
They said, well, he did say the other day, didn't they, FSG, that they don't listen to the outside noise. I like the idea that they're cooked up in Boston somewhere watching baseball, and then someone's gone, some outside noise has crept in under the door, and it's Salah contract, and they've gone, fuck!
The outside noise was right. I had a point, the outside noise. Dave Jackson here says that Humphries has got a high-performance podcast. He says it's mostly waffle. I mean, if Humphries is getting into the high-performance podcast game, then I'm going to be banging on BT's door. There is around this. What it says, though, because what these sites are really good at is, I think that what genuinely, and I do respect them for it, they're good at saying the plausible thing that will probably happen and then being able to quote it back. And I just saw the struck me as a great example this morning. What it went on was 5-year deal for Salah. Liverpool want it done before Christmas. It'll be in the vicinity of 360 grand a week. And I came away going, yeah, lads, honestly, that's my position.
Yeah.
I am purely speculative. You know, I'm a gobshite in a gorgeous shirt. I've got nothing else to bring you. But I think that is what will happen. So fair play to them. This is why they're good at this. They're good at like throwing the seeds out there and then being able to know which ones have fell into the good land and which ones have fell into the fallow land, and then be able to go after the fact that you see, we called that one right.
Do you know what? They're the fellas getting the clicks, not us biffs.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
They're getting the clicks.
Yeah, the click boys, them and John Gibbons yesterday.
Yeah, I think on the Salah thing, it's been interesting sort of reading everyone's take on it, and I know that the club are maybe worried that they set a precedent with the wage that Salah that Salah gets and what the other sort of players. I don't think that the players in the change room will give a fuck. What they'll look at is they'll go, well, we've got the best player in the world at the moment, and he's staying with us for 5 years, and it makes our chances of winning this, winning that, much sort of better.
Well, do you know, I think on that, just to cut across, why I think that's partially true is it wouldn't surprise me if Salah ends up with a slightly less generous bonus package. We know Liverpool do a lot of incentivised contracts, so he gets more basic and a less incentivised bonus package. And it wouldn't therefore surprise me if Liverpool then able to turn around to the players and go, you're all on really incentivised contracts. Yeah. Do you know who helps you hit those incentives because he's boss and he scores the goals? That fella. Don't worry about it. You're going to get your bonus payments. His have gone down a little bit, but we're giving him more basic and more guaranteed. You're more likely to hit your overall figures off the back of this. Aren't we all happy?
But also the idea that Liverpool wouldn't pay the money for Salah when their whole wage structure is based around incentivising the footballers. So what then they are saying is, we will incentivise you until you're successful to a certain point, and whenever you're too successful, we're not gonna pay you because we can't afford to, and that would be the really, really worrying thing in all of this. I just don't see it happening. I see Salah want to stick around at Liverpool. You've made the point before about the Ballon d'Or and how this is sort of the best place for him to win the next one, win the next two. And we want to keep him. It should be, in theory, a simple negotiation. Yep. Once FSG start listening to the outside noise and realise that the Salah contract is a big thing.
Absolutely. Amajit Singh Bharti says this could do with resting Fabinho, we'll need him for Atletico and United. Feels like he struggles with 3 games in a week. A little bit. I think there's a bit of truth in that. The point I would make is he's still basically almost playing 3 games in a week because he plays Friday at 1:30 in the morning. So it's not like he's getting the rest.
And is he playing? I'm interested to see if he plays.
Maybe he won't play.
This is the frustrating thing with the Brazilian team, especially with Alisson sat on the bench.
Yep.
All that way to sit in the bench
like that. Tough this. So this shirt's going to be on sale from tomorrow. Michael, the aforementioned, is sorting all the stuff out today around it. So this shirt is going to be on sale tomorrow. It is about Mo Salah himself. So we best get a new deal because we paid the printer now on the t-shirts.
If
he leaves in January, do you know what I mean? We're going to need a cut. Just to be clear of the transfer fee, we're going to need a cut because we'll have a box of them. We won't be able to get shut of them. So
the last Salah t-shirt we had.
We don't talk about that one. We don't talk about that one. Yeah. So this is our Mo Salah t-shirt. We would like you to buy it if you have the opportunity to do so. It says "Running Down the Wing" on it, which is a reference to the famous song. So do contemplate buying that if you get the opportunity to do so around Mo. And it is absolutely brilliant. It's a lovely t-shirt. I love how they give me the small.
Do you sing the song?
Mo Salah, Mo Salah, Mo Salah, running down the wing. In the style of George Ezra. Salah,
I'll be running down the wing.
I'll be running down the wing. In the style thereof.
All the kids will be buying it.
Honestly, 7 to 9 year olds, they're queuing round the block.
We don't have your size. Small adult might fit.
Small adults. If you're a big 9-year-old, small adults. You never know, you're looking at raffle.
Any really tall 9-year-olds watching this?
Yeah, massive 9-year-olds. There's 160 people currently watching this, which makes me think it's unlikely to have much giant 9-year-old traction at this point.
Given our demographics as well.
Yeah, it seems very, very unlikely. Someone on that, what I always love, people do this. They do it when we do Tour Live. We're doing Tour Live today at 4 p.m, by the way. I'm recording Friday show afterwards. I've got the calls around it. I've got report today as well. All of that to come because we are excited about the Watford game. We'll do Watford chat in a second. Subscribe to the Anfield Wrap to get any of those things, theanfieldwrap.com/subscribe. Download theanfieldwrap.com/subscribe. I'll say it slower. Theanfieldwrap.com/subscribe. What we've discovered recently is there's some people who think you can only get our stuff through tokens. That's nonsense, lads. Theanfieldwrap.com/subscribe to get everything. You pay £10 a month and you can get everything we do and you don't have to buy the tokens anymore. There's that for that. I download the app as well. You then get the tokens on the app if you just want to try things for the first time. But when you realise it's all really good, theanfieldwrap.com/subscribe and come and jump on board. There's this thing that happens. So we're doing Tour Live at 4. So Tour Live it comes out as a free podcast, but we do it as a video at 4 o'clock and then we get it out later the same day as a podcast. And I'll have inserts in on the podcast, but the live is us talking, building up to Watford and all of that sort of stuff. Come and be part of that. It'll be about 4 p.m. today. Where is the... someone does this on this thing every single time. There's always someone on all of these who says there's not many people watching. Yeah, Tom Houston, 125 watching, 10 likes, sorted out, fellow viewers. I think that means he wants you to like more. But the thing I would say is if you want more people to watch these as we do them, maybe tell them about it. It'd be a really valid criticism to say maybe we could tell people about it a bit more as well. So I take that on board, you know what I mean? The physician heal thyself is a valid position. But we're doing Tour Live at 4 p.m. later on, so let people know and all come and be part of it. It's really fancy Tour Live, not like this shite. Stuff comes up on screen, it's done through Restream and everything. It's like, swizzy, and you know what I mean? It's got a lot going on, so yeah.
Yeah, tell a friend, you're our second best marketing tool, so help us out.
Absolutely, help us out. So, Watford then, team news. We've got no Fabinho then, no Alisson, so Kelleher presumably starts in goal. Yesterday, Thiago's ruled out for this one, not training with the team yet, which suggests he is training. Arnold and Jota ruled in by the manager, both training with the team. It means he's got options up front. It means he's got all his options, as far as I can see. Shimikas played centre-half for Greece, by the way, which is quite interesting, left-hand side in a 3.
How did he get on?
I don't know.
Don't say beat 4-0.
Yeah, he got murdered.
Thumped. He was tortured.
Yeah, by Albania.
Never again.
We got it should be the first choice back 4 are all available.
They lost 2-0.
They lost 2-0. There
Brilliant.
you go. Thank you very much.
Reds.
Thank you very much, Sam. But it is in the midfield where he is just going to be short of options. Presumably Henderson plays in the 6, but Keita played all 3 games for Guinea. That's a pros and cons thing. He's in the rhythm of playing on the one hand, but on the other hand, you feel as though there's like a tipping point.
I always like I always like when there's a player that's on the fringes and then he gets like a game and maybe 60 in the second game, 3 in a row, and then flying back from Guinea. I'd be interested to hear when his last game was it a Tuesday night, for instance, and then I would be tempted. I mean, Curtis Jones seemingly played well as well with the under-21s, the England under-21s, so maybe have a look at him. He's been great recently, albeit, you know, a bit of a wobble against City. I think this is a massive game in that Liverpool's fixture list coming up. This will be where we sort of see, right, how good are Liverpool? Because I think that there is still a feeling amongst the fan base. It's like, yeah, we're nicely placed, but you know, we weren't able to beat Chelsea when they had 10 men. You know, the draw against City, they came behind twice, and you know, there is sort of that. You're still unsure. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. There's still sort of question marks around, you know, areas of the defence and how we let a lead slip against Brentford. But then you watch Porto and our forwards are banging them in. I think, you know, this game with Ranieri and it being the first game, there's the new manager bounce not just on the pitch but in the stands as well. They'll be excited. Finally, they've got some sort of new hope. So it'll be a real test. To be honest, there's like there's a part of me that's quite excited to see someone like Kelleher given a chance because I think he's looked really good and he's great with the ball at his feet. Albeit I don't want to see it in a Premier League game straight away. It's usually the League Cup games, but if we have to see him this weekend because Alisson can't play, then so be it.
That is the case. I mean, the Kelleher thing, we've just got to sort of roll with the punches on. For me, it's all about what he does in midfield. I'm a little like, there's someone's put in here, Luke Hogg says, Keita has to start. If he's fit, he should play, especially at the moment. If not, there's no point in being here, I think. My thing on that, Luke, is I sort of, in one sense, I sort of take your point, but I can end up in the same position on Oxlade-Chamberlain, and I can end up to a degree on the same position on Milner, in that what's the point of the Milner thing if, when you've got a couple of injuries in midfield, you could do with being solid, you go into Vicarage Road, there's going to be no battle of laughs. And he's not gone anywhere on the international break. The manager's had him all the way through. Chamberlain, it's a bit like, well, he's got to start getting games somewhere. You know, for me, Keita's got Tuesday against Atletico written all over him. I'd like to see Keita start that one. Yeah. Jones, it could go either way because there was reported tightness in his groin, but he's looked great, and then he plays for the under-21s and does a good job. My whole thing about this is, I think that the really weird thing in midfield is it's easy to feel like because Elliott's injured, Thiago's still out, and Fabinho's out, there's no options. I actually think it's a bit of a selection nightmare for the manager. He'd possibly like it to be a bit more streamlined, like the idea of, well, I haven't got to pick between the Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yeah, he's just got 3.
Yeah.
He has to play them.
Yeah, and then everyone else is back for Tuesday, don't get me wrong, but he's just got 3 and he's got to play them. Because I think that if you're Chamberlain, there's a point where you'd be going, well, when are you going to play me?
This is my one.
If you're Milner, you'd be going, well, I expect to get this sort of game.
Well, I think we do expect Milner. I think we can see Milner. I think if
so
you
Henderson,
play
Milner
Henderson,
plus
6, Milner, and then I think that's where you're looking at someone like Curtis Jones, someone that can sort of make something happen and be, you know, you have the 2 behind him doing the dirty work, and then sort of let Curtis Jones flourish is how I'd see it. And then you keep Keita for Atletico.
John Beaton's gone the opposite, said keep Curtis for Atletico and go from there. With Oxlade-Chamberlain, like, I sort of feel like he needs the League Cup to come around quite quickly, and it is only sort of 10 days away. I think that's the game then where you throw him in and you say, right, let's see, because every time we've seen him this season, we've not seen enough from him to sort of suggest that he should come into this game. Especially we've got Curtis Jones, who's seemingly on form. We've got Milner in there, who we know we can trust, and obviously Henderson as well. The key thing for me is, and I'm literally looking it up now, so that's why I'm being rude and not looking at you. So Guinea played on the 12th of October. That was Tuesday. He's got himself back. I think I'd pick Keita. I think Keita he's a steady influence in these games. So I think I will go Henderson, Keita +1. And then it's one of Chamberlain, Milner and Jones as to who you feel is going to do what you need them to do strongly enough. And that's where I sort of end up. I'd like Keita for Atletico as well. I think I'm still a huge Naby fan, to be honest with you. And there's another part of me, though, which is not dissimilar to Joel Matip, which is it feels as though you can't quite control when he's going to get injured. So maybe there's also an argument that if he's looking pretty fit, you just play him and roll him through.
Yeah, well, the sports science will be able to sort of tell us better than we will. I think, as I said earlier, if it is Tuesday night and not Wednesday, then, you know, and he has played well, then he has sort of found some momentum and rhythm, and then maybe you do look at playing him. And then, you know, if he does really well, then you know who, you know, there's a big chance then that you keep him and he plays at United away next weekend. Yeah, like I said earlier, this is the sort of start of us knowing exactly where Liverpool are. It's quite a difficult fixture list if you look at the next sort of 6 weeks for us in comparison to Chelsea, in comparison to City. But yeah, I'm up for it.
Yeah, huge away
really
games, massive week. Thank you very much to Craig and to everybody else in the room who thinks had a lovely time as well. And you for watching. Do let people know that we do this Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays. You get some Talking Reds tour live later as well. Subscribe if you can. And if you know any massive 9-year-olds, do let them know that this t-shirt, who love George Ezra and Mo Salah, do let them know that this t-shirt exists. See you later.